Hey everyone, it's Michael GoosebumpsFan. I hope you're doing well today. I have one more video for you for today of Goosebumps episode reviews. I might have something for you tomorrow. I don't know for sure. We'll see, maybe in the next coming days, but we'll see. Anyway, I should have some more content for you later on in the week, but this should be a lot. This is like 5 or 6 videos today. I hope you enjoy these videos too. So, today I'm talking about the season... Ah, crap, my camera turned... or my IMDb phone, whatever, turned off. Season 3, Episode 22, which is also the finale of Season 3. The episode called Teacher's Pet, which premiered on May 16th, 1998. Of course, I have the episode here in this bootleg box that I've mentioned in every single review I've done today. Accidentally bought it, just so you know. I didn't go out of my way to pick this up. But yeah, this may very well be, as I glanced through my episode ratings before this, it'd very well be the worst Goosebumps episode I've ever seen. I'll be honest with you. It's directed by Stefan Skaney. I didn't even think to look at all this stuff real quick. Let me go back and look at this person's episodes of Goosebumps they might have done. Let's see. No, this is the only episode this person did. And it's a filler episode, too. There's, like, no budget behind this at all. It's a piece of garbage, this episode, I tell you. I don't recognize anybody from this. It looks like somebody's from Magic School Bus, the girl in it. Apparently the main girl died in 1997. That's pretty sad. Wow. Yeah, I don't know any of these people from anything. This is awful. This is genuinely awful. It's poorly directed. The special effects are awful. Whatever effects are supposed to be in here, the relatively mild practical effects that aren't like makeup objects, like not like creatures and stuff. None of it's good. Now, I missed out because I did review all 6 of the Tales to Give You Goosebumps books back in the day. A couple of years ago now. It doesn't even feel like it. Just a couple of years ago, I talked about all 6 of those. And I reviewed the episodes that were based on short stories from that short story collection, like Strained Peas and Don't Wake Mummy, which I love to death. It's a great, great, great short story and a fantastic episode, one of my favorites. There's some decent episodes based on those short stories. This is one of the ones that apparently I missed. I was just looking through things today. I read Creature Teacher. I reviewed that today for anybody in the future who needs some context about what happened today. I finished reading Creature Teacher, and I thought there was an episode called Creature Teacher, but there wasn't. It was a Series 2000 book. They had done Cry of the Cat. They did Brad of the Living Dummy, so I thought, okay, there must be a Creature Teacher episode. No, there's not, apparently. Which was weird to me, because it's a great one. For the most part, it's a great one. But I saw there was one called Teacher's Pet, so apparently I was getting the titles confused somehow. And I'm sitting there like, Teacher's Pet? That's not even a book. I had to look on the Goosebumps Wiki, which thank God for the Goosebumps Wiki. Goosebumps Wiki let me know real quick. That was a short story from Tales to Give You Goosebumps, Book 1, and I remembered it. As soon as I started looking into it, I was like, yeah, I remember this story. And as I read it, I was like, yeah, I remember this. Do you want to know how low budget this episode is? Okay, so in the book, I'm pretty sure it was based on a school and kids having a teacher who was obsessed with snakes, and they start to suspect some things about this guy. This episode takes place out in the woods. Yeah. Yep. It's very different, but very close, but also awful, just like that short story wasn't that great to begin with. The short story was better than this. I would say that. It's not the best of those series of books, short stories collected. It's not the best short story, but it's better than this piece of crap. Which is why a lot of the Stein short stories and novels and stuff are better than the books or episodes they're adapted into. This is a great example of one that is such a freaking miss, it's impossible to explain it. I'm so disappointed, because I saw 2 decent episodes today with Cry of the Cat and Phantom of the Auditorium, and then I saw 2 really bad, like bottom-of-the-barrel bad books or episodes today, which were Go Eat Worms and this. But I will say, I think Teacher's Pet takes the money for the worst one I've ever seen. And I mean that. Because there's nothing interesting about it. There's nothing I like about it, which is hard for you to understand if you don't know much about me and my channel. I'm usually fine, and I'm easy to satisfy with most things Goosebumps. I don't really have the most complaints about a lot of this stuff. You have to be really, really obviously bad for me to hate it. And I gotta be honest, I kind of hate this episode. I kind of never want to watch it again. At some point in the future, what I wanted to do is sit down and actually rewatch all the episodes and do a ranking for all the episodes as a video, right? I'm not going to do it with the books. I've been keeping up lists for the books, and I used to keep up episode lists for best to worst. I used to do that, and I was like, oh, these don't take very long to work through. You could probably work through the 4 seasons in like a 2-week period in my schedule with the current time frame that I have now. So I may do that one day when I've read all the books and reviewed all the episodes individually. This is a great example of one that I will probably have to force myself to skip, because I don't think I could watch this again. I hated it so bad. Yeah, there are bad ones out there, like the, like Bad Hair Day. Bad Hair Day is not a great episode. My Hairiest Adventure was probably the worst I had seen up to this. That's a real bad one. A really, really bad one. But there are certain aspects, at least to those episodes, that I admire to some degree. Go Eat Worms was really bad. And as I looked through my ratings of other episodes, I was thinking, you know, this one's probably not as bad as I'm thinking. No. This one takes the cake. It's horrible. It's genuinely horrible. I hate it, physically. Being out in the woods, there's not a whole lot of changes aside from the setting. You do have a, like, teacher guy, explorer person out there that is obsessed with snakes, and he shows the group of kids that are on this field trip overnighting thing about snakes, and he shows them one, and they start to suspect some weird things about him. You probably know where this is going. It's the most obvious thing I could possibly ever tell you about. It's awful. At least the short story is interesting and entertaining. This is not. This is just straight up a bad episode. Just plain and simple, the worst episode in my personal opinion. At this current point in my life, I think it's the worst. You do have rough ones out there, like the Deep Trouble adaptation that was a 2-parter, but even that I think is charmingly bad compared to this. That's bad, but this is like unwatchable bad, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a lot of snakes in here. I'm not a fan of snakes. I hate snakes. I despise snakes. If you're like that too, there is a little bit of a tension that can be built here. A couple of times I kind of had to hold my breath a little bit, but mainly because I wanted to see how bad they dropped the ball, more so than actually being creeped out or anything like that. Yeah, I hate snakes. Does it really play up on that fear? It tries. It really tries for the low budget that it has, and it sucks. It really, really honestly sucks. There's nothing about this. The character are kids. The characters are bad. The kids themselves are trying their best to do something with this, and they suck too. I hate to be awful like that and mean like that, but they just have nothing to work with. The script sucks. The directing sucks. Everything about it sucks. The special effects, like I said, are terrible. Nobody has anything to put talent towards if they have the talent to do anything. They really don't. It's a complete fall-flat project and should have never been made. Should have never been made. It was a filler episode, and it's a sad filler on top of that. It's a great example of trying to pump out so many episodes into one season that you did not need. You could have saved a lot of money and put it towards more things like Night of the Living Dummy 3 or Night in Terror Tower, all those big 2-parters that everybody loves and remembers. All the people that I talk to that love these big episodes, they're typically 2-parter episodes. All the big fandom favorites, like Haunted Mask 1 and 2, they're typically 2-parter favorites that I talk to with people and hear about from them. This is a great example of why all that money should have went to those types of projects or just not been used as part of the budget. That's my personal opinion. That was the kind of mistakes TV used to make that I think things like Scream the TV series, Season 1 and Season 2, had like 8 to 10 episodes. Perfect. Perfect. You didn't need anything else. You just needed those. Stranger Things Season 1 should have been 1 season, 8 episodes. It was perfect. Or whatever it was. That's all you need. That's all you need in my personal opinion. You do not need anything else. You can't expand it past that. You don't need season after season connected. You don't need all that. It doesn't work. And typically shows drop the ball on it. This show drops the ball really hard when it drops the ball, frankly. And usually there's some charm where you can enjoy these standalone filler episodes that have no budget. But this is one that just doesn't have any charm to it. It just sucks. Plain out, it sucks. The music is interesting at times, but that's it. I said interesting. I didn't say I liked it. I said it's interesting. Everything about this is awful. This episode, Teacher's Pet, is one of the worst I've ever seen from Goosebumps, and I personally think it is the worst I've seen up to this point. I have watched all of these episodes, not almost all of them, but I've stretched them out over like 3 years' time now. And many of them I was familiar with. This is one of the ones, again, like Go Eat Worms, that I hope that when Cartoon Network had had done reruns for this show in like the mid-2000s. I hope to God that any of you folks out there that are younger folks that watched those reruns and became Goosebumps fans because of those reruns, I hope to God that you did not have to see this piece of crap episode. And if so, Cartoon Network, you need to sue WB or whoever sold it to you at the time, Fox or whoever, if they tried to charge you extreme rates on this episode or Go Eat Worms episode because of how bad they truly are. They had no budget. There was no money put into those. They're terrible. And like I said, the whole snake thing, it can be interesting, I guess, at times, but not enough for me to say that that saves the episode for me. I hate it. I physically hate this episode, I'll be honest with you. And I didn't expect to go to that route because I didn't hate Go Eat Worms. Go Eat Worms was bad, like real bad, but it had some things I liked. It had some things that were okay and manageable. This is like bad. This is beyond bad. This is just a piece of crap, plain and simple. Nothing to watch here. Don't spend your time on this junk. Don't spend any money to check out this episode or buy it on Vudu or anything like that. Just skip it. It's a piece of garbage. Not worth your time, not worth your money, nothing like that. If I had to rate Teacher's Pet, the episode, based on the short story, on a 5-star basis, I would give it a 1 out of 5 stars. I physically hated it. I did not expect this to end the way it did. The fact that I've never heard anything about it and completely heard no one mention it. Look, there goes the siren to go save people who watch this tonight. I don't know if you heard that or not. I hope that joke doesn't die out because you couldn't hear the ambulance or the cop car or whoever it was. I think it was an ambulance. They have like distinct sirens, but kind of not. Anyway, I hope that if you happen to watch this episode at any point, well, you know what? I won't even go there. I'll just flat out say, this does not surprise me that people never mention to me that I skipped this episode by accident. It does not surprise me whatsoever because it's so awful it's forgettable. But it's almost insulting, frankly, to anybody who's an adult now that was a child at that time, because you look back and you're like, they really had no faith in us as an audience. They really had no interest in what we could think of a certain episode. And for this to be the finale of a season 3 of Goosebumps as a TV show is amazing to me. Then we get the 4th season that people say season 3 and 4 are a little bit of a mess. I like a little bit of scattershot all over Goosebumps, but particularly I favor the first 2 seasons. 3 and 4 have their moments, in my opinion. But this is a great example of something I would expect to be like the death of the show. Like the one they put out because they wanted to make as little effort as possible to make something Goosebumps titled. I don't know. Maybe it's the result of things like this that cause season 4 to be whatever people think it is for the reputation that it has. Of course, that's the Cry of the Cat season. That's also the season with something else I'm not thinking of right now. It might be the season with Deep Trouble as an adaptation as well. Anyway, Teacher's Pet's horrible. 1 out of 5 stars for me. I physically hated it. Short story was, it was alright. It was decent. I remember liking it. It had some cool twist at the end of that. The way it's done here, it's awful. And by the way, the last thing on screen at the end of this episode is one of the most insultingly stupid things and one of the most cringy, awful things I've ever seen in my life. And they should be ashamed for putting that in this episode. By the way, the teacher who played the snake enthusiast, or the actor who played the teacher who's a snake enthusiast, he did a decent job. He tried. They screwed him big time with the script and with the episode. He probably heard about the popularity of Goosebumps, wanted to get in there, and that poor guy, he tried so hard, and they just ruined his career, I guess. I don't know. I didn't even look into his career. I hated this episode so much, I wanted to get it out of the way. That's why I didn't even look into everything else I should have looked into before I jumped in, because I wanted it over with. I wanted to erase this from my brain and never think about it again. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Put them down below. Let me know what you think about the short story. Let me know what you think about this episode. I'd love to hear all that down below. I will catch up with you guys at some point later on in the week, God willing, and hopefully you enjoyed this review and this rant and tangent about how awful the Goosebumps TV show and Goosebumps in general can get sometimes, but very, very rarely. I want you to know that. This happens to be the first thing of Goosebumps you've ever heard about. This video, me ranting about this episode. Please know that this is one of the rare occasions of something that I've actually hated. I'm very easy to please when it comes to Stein's work in Goosebumps. This is awful. This is like a whole other level of bad. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Put them down below. Thank you for watching. God bless you once again, and goodbye.